In this video, we'll be taking a look at two NFL games happening on September 30th, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these two NFL games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Tennessee Titans versus Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins and the Titans are two teams that find themselves struggling in similar but distinct ways as they prepare to face off in Monday Night Football on September 30th. Miami enters the game with a 1-2 record, their lone victory coming in Week 1 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Injuries, particularly to their quarterback position, have severely dampened their playoff hopes early in the season. On the other hand, Tennessee is dealing with its own quarterback problems, as rookie Will Levis has been inconsistent and turnover-prone. The Titans remain winless at 0-3, having yet to come close to securing a victory. Both the Dolphins and Titans have been plagued by poor quarterback play over the past few weeks, making their struggles eerily similar. Miami, missing starting quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, lacked defensive rhythm in their Week 3 loss to the Seahawks. Similarly, Tennessee's Will Levis has struggled to get anything going offensively, throwing a concerning number of interceptions that have been hard for his team to overcome. This upcoming Monday night matchup is shaping up to be a low-scoring, defensive battle. However, the Dolphins have a great opportunity to correct their course, with standout players like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle poised to make plays. Head coach Mike McDaniel is known for his creativity, and he will likely design schemes to get the ball into their hands. The Titans, meanwhile, looked lost last week when they faced the Packers and were outmatched even by a backup quarterback. Miami will lean on Tyler Huntley for quarterback duties, a player who brings both experience and mobility, which could be crucial against Tennessee's 18th-ranked run defense. The Dolphins, who are 6th in the NFL in time of possession, will likely take a methodical, ball control approach to this game. They may avoid deep throws down the field, instead opting to pound the run and manage the clock. On defense, Miami has been opportunistic, generating 2 interceptions in their previous game. Facing Levis, who has been turnover-prone, the Dolphins' defense should have opportunities to make key plays and potentially swing the game in their favor. There has been a lot of uncertainty about who will start at quarterback for the Dolphins. The line for this game has fluctuated because of questions surrounding the Dolphins' quarterback situation. Skylar Thompson is dealing with a rib injury and looked ineffective last week. Tim Boyle, who played as the third-string quarterback, made a few passes but lacks the skill set to compete at this level, having never been a standout even in college. Tyler Huntley, while more talented, only recently joined the team, and there are concerns about how much of the playbook he can absorb on such short notice. Despite all of this uncertainty, the Dolphins still appear to be in a better position than the Titans. Tennessee has been a mess on offense, and Will Levis' turnover issues have compounded their struggles. Miami's defense has been solid enough to win games this season, and their offense still has playmakers capable of producing big moments. If Huntley starts at quarterback, the Dolphins with the points look like a solid bet. However, if another quarterback is chosen, it might be best to avoid betting on this game altogether. McDaniel has kept his decision on the starting quarterback under wraps, but if I had to make a choice, I would lean toward Huntley getting the nod on Monday night. The Titans' offense has shown little reason for optimism, and I don't see them having the firepower to win a road game under the lights. As such, the Miami Dolphins to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. It's remarkable how quickly things can change in just a few weeks. At the start of the season, the idea of the Dolphins engaging in a high-scoring shootout would have been welcomed by fans. However, with their current quarterback issues, Miami seems more comfortable playing a slower-paced, possession-focused game that relies on field goals and running the ball. The Dolphins have the tools to execute this game plan, as they rank 6th in time of possession and can exploit the Titans' vulnerable run defense with Huntley and their stable of running backs. While Huntley isn't as dynamic a runner as the Packers' Malik Willis, he can still create plays with his legs. McDaniel likely noticed the Titans' struggles against a mobile quarterback last week and will look to use a similar strategy. Will Levis' early season difficulties have been well documented, and with the Dolphins' recent struggles against opposing running backs, Tennessee will likely focus on running the ball to protect their young quarterback. The Titans have failed to score more than 17 points in any of their first 3 games, and with the Dolphins possibly starting a quarterback who is barely familiar with the team's playbook, this game could turn into a defensive slugfest. Both teams are desperate for a win, and I expect a hard-fought, low-scoring game. The Dolphins' defense, which intercepted Geno Smith twice last week, will play a crucial role once again. Over the past 2 weeks, the Dolphins have scored just 13 points, highlighting the fact that even a roster full of offensive weapons isn't immune to poor quarterback play. Meanwhile, Tennessee's coaching staff has grown increasingly frustrated with Levis' mistakes. Given that the Titans are facing a backup quarterback, they'll likely lean heavily on their revamped defense, which has been quietly effective, allowing the 5th fewest yards per game in the league. Tennessee's offense hasn't been able to capitalize on favorable field position provided by their defense. The Titans lack big play potential, and Miami's quarterback play remains a significant question mark. While Huntley isn't a long-term solution, he offers some mobility, and the Dolphins will likely stick to a run-heavy game plan, making for a quick and perhaps uneventful contest. This game will likely be a sloppy affair between 2 teams struggling with cohesion on offense. Given the offensive limitations of both teams, it's unlikely that either side will run away with the game. As such, a low-scoring, tightly contested matchup is to be expected. With that in mind, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Seattle Seahawks versus Detroit Lions. The NFL is gearing up for a second consecutive Monday Night Football doubleheader, with the later game featuring an intriguing National Football Conference showdown between the Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions. The last time these 2 teams faced off was in Detroit on September 17th of last year, when the Seahawks secured a thrilling 37-31 victory in overtime. Now, both teams are poised for another intense matchup under the bright lights. Seattle remains undefeated as they prepare to face Detroit for the second time in 2 seasons, but this time they come with a new head coach at the helm. Just as Dan Campbell has reshaped the culture of the Lions, many believe that Mike Macdonald is already making his mark on the Seahawks, and for good reason. While Seattle's competition so far, Denver, New England, and Miami, hasn't been the toughest, the team has shown marked improvement each week. This is reflected in their statistical performance, with Seattle currently ranked 2nd in total DVOA and boasting top 10 rankings in multiple offensive and defensive categories. Although Detroit is known for being a difficult place to play, the Seahawks have proven they can handle the pressure, as evidenced by their victory there last year. Seattle's potent receiving core is expected to challenge Detroit's secondary, which has allowed a 67% completion rate to opposing quarterbacks. Additionally, Seattle's defense is emerging as one of the strongest in the league. The Lions have earned plenty of praise this season, and rightfully so. Despite some early hiccups, there is confidence that Dan Campbell's squad will hit their stride soon, although this particular game may not be the turning point. Detroit's offense has been inconsistent, struggling with turnovers and failing to convert long drives into touchdowns. Part of the challenge may stem from the fact that opponents are no longer underestimating the Lions, and everyone in the league now knows the talent of offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. Although Johnson is highly regarded, his unit has faced difficulties, as evidenced by tight games against the Rams and Cardinals, and a loss to Tampa Bay at home, where a cleaner performance from the Buccaneers proved decisive. There's no denying that the Lions can be a formidable team when everything clicks, but they have yet to find that rhythm this season. Even Dan Campbell has had his share of off-field distractions, including needing to move out of the local area due to a stalking incident. Meanwhile, Mike Macdonald has thrived in high-pressure situations before, having served as the Ravens' defensive coordinator when they dominated Seattle 38-6 last season. With the Seahawks showing signs of being a rejuvenated team, more support is beginning to flow in for them as the road underdogs, and we're inclined to agree with that sentiment. While the Lions may get some favor from oddsmakers for playing at home, it's hard to ignore how impressive the Seahawks have been through their first 3 games. Yes, the Seahawks have faced relatively weak opponents, 2 likely non-playoff teams in the Broncos and Patriots, and the Dolphins without Tua Tagovailoa, but they've looked dominant nonetheless. Seattle's offense has been explosive through the air, and their defense has been equally outstanding, ranking 2nd in total defense, 1st in passing defense, and 4th in scoring defense. On the other hand, the Lions have struggled with turnovers on offense and have shown vulnerability in pass defense, which could open the door for Seattle to secure an outright win. So the Seattle Seahawks to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Last season, the Seahawks visited Detroit early on, and the game turned into a high-scoring affair with 67 total points and over 800 yards of combined offense, ultimately ending in a Seahawks victory in overtime. However, we anticipate this year's contest will look very different. Seattle has shifted towards becoming a defense-first team, reminiscent of their peak under Pete Carroll, but Mike Macdonald has infused the team with a new level of toughness. Unlike the player-friendly Carroll, Macdonald is known for his hard-nosed, old-school approach, which he honed while turning Baltimore into one of the NFL's most feared defenses over the past 2 years. So far, this philosophy has paid off in Seattle, as the Seahawks have allowed just 14 points per game and 248.7 yards per game, while leading the NFL in allowing only 3.9 yards per play. It's important to note that these strong defensive numbers came against less than stellar offenses, including a rookie quarterback in Denver, a struggling Patriots offense, and the Dolphins without Tua. Still, Seattle's defense has shown noticeable improvement each week, and Macdonald is a coach we trust in these situations. On the other hand, Detroit has had to rely more on their defense to stay competitive in games. While their offense is moving the ball effectively, averaging 400 yards per game, they've struggled in the red zone, converting only 38.46% of trips into touchdowns, ranking 26th in the league. Quarterback Jared Goff has also thrown 4 interceptions in 3 games. Given the form Seattle's defense is in, Detroit is unlikely to find its offensive rhythm in this game. At the same time, the Seahawks haven't faced a defense as strong as Detroit's, which is allowing just 18 points per game. The under has hit in 4 of Detroit's last 5 games as the betting favorite, and Seattle has seen the under in 7 of their last 9 road games. The Lions are expected to apply pressure on Seattle's offensive line, especially with the absence of offensive tackle George Fant. Edge rusher Aiden Hutchinson and the rest of the Lions' defensive front will likely make life difficult for quarterback Geno Smith, and Seattle's running game could struggle against a Lions defense that ranks 4th in rushing yards allowed. Detroit's secondary, which held the Cardinals to just 200 passing yards in their last game, should play confidently once again. Through 3 games, the Seahawks have been highly effective at limiting their opponents. While the Lions may have some success running the ball, Goff is likely to feel the pressure from a Seattle defense that has already recorded 11 sacks. The Seahawks are holding opponents to just 3.9 yards per play and rank 2nd in expected points added per play at minus 0.218. If Detroit leans heavily on its rushing attack, especially with backs David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, the clock will keep ticking and the game could become a grind. This matchup has all the makings of a playoff-like atmosphere, and with that in mind, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.